Hey, what's up everybody, Nexil here. Today we're playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and we're going to be talking about the new Supernova Plus Plus Mysterious Figure banner that just dropped a few days ago in Global. Now, as always, we're going to do our banner analysis, we'll talk about the medal, the draw odds, and finally my thoughts and recommendations on whether or not I think you should be pulling from this banner. So first things first, with any new banner, you want to see how many days you have to decide if you want to pull from that banner, and in this case, we have until December 20th to decide if we want to pull from this banner. Now, I always recommend waiting until the last day, seeing everything that's available to you, and then deciding if you want to pull on any banner. And this is actually a good example of that, because the Mysterious Figure banner came out on December 14th. The Defense Breaker deal, which in my opinion is actually a better deal, came out yesterday on December 15th. So if you spent all your jewels on the 14th attempting to pull for this banner, you would miss out on this banner, you would miss out on any other banners they release between now and December 20th. So I always recommend waiting until the last day, saving your jewels up, seeing everything that's available to you, whether it be a banner or an avatar board, or maybe just something where it's like, hey, special deal on jewels for 99 traits or something like that. Wait till that last day and then decide what you want to put your jewels towards. Speaking of jewels, it's going to cost you 3,000 jewels with every single pull. So it could be the 5th pull, the 10th pull, the 87th pull. It's still going to cost you 3,000 jewels per pull. Now, with every single pull, you get 3 Supernova Plus or higher medals, which are guaranteed to be at least tier 8. You are going to get 7 Kingdom Hearts 3 medals, which are going to be guaranteed at least tier 6. Now, why did I put so much emphasis on the tiers? So as you can see, this is all 10 medals. There's no more 5-star or higher medals. There's no more random tier 2s, tier 4s, tier 5s, tier 6s that are not Kingdom Hearts 3. So by getting rid of all those medals from the pool system, really, it means that per draw, if you had to sell everything, you'd be getting more draw points on average. And what that means is that it makes it easier to get medals from this draw points deal. So I really like that they condensed the medal pool, because that means you are only going to be guaranteed things that give you at minimum 6 draw points per. So I really like that. I think that is definitely a huge quality of life improvement. It looks like the only way you're going to be able to get tier 2s and up all the way up until, like, I believe it's tier 6s or tier 8s that are non-Kingdom Hearts 3 based is going to be through this draw ticket. So I hope that means every single month we're going to see some sort of draw ticket banner, because I really like just the random free medals. I hope you do too. But that's all I have to say about this. Again, really good choice, really good quality of life change here. Here's another good quality of life change, actually, the 20 VIP coins that you get with every single pull. Now, what I like about this is because the old format was that you got 10 VIP coins and 1 trait medal from the banner that you're pulling for. So in this case, it would be like you got 10 VIP coins and 1 trait medal for the Mysterious Figure. I actually like this 20 VIP coins more, because when we look at the avatar boards where you're going to be spending those VIP coins, there's a lot of different things that you could trade it in for. So this is a good example again, because this is a VIP board where you can get medals. When we look at past VIP boards like the Final Fantasy Record Keeper Sephiroth, or like the Renova, Terra Ventus, and Aqua, you could only get those with VIP coins. So I like more VIP coins, and then 1 additional slot to give to another medal that's not the trait medal, because again, that's draw points. That's another shot for a Supernova Plus medal, Supernova Plus Plus medal, and then you could just use the VIP coins on these here. So for example, let's say I wanted to get some traits for my Supernova Plus Plus Kingdom Hearts 3 Lee/Axel. I could just use 20 VIP coins that I got from 1 pull on the Mysterious Figure banner and just get 2 traits here. So I really like it because those 20 VIP coins represent versatility. And the more versatile our resources are, the better it is for us as the player. Now, looking at the banner, what you get with every single pull is going to wrap up with 3 magic gems, which is pretty on par for every single pull. One last thing to note about the banner, though, is that you are guaranteed a stopper medal in 10 pulls. What that means is that if you pull 10 times, if you spend 30,000 jewels, you're guaranteed a stopper medal, but not guaranteed Supernova Plus Plus Mysterious Figure. Now, whenever we pull from a banner, we want the medal that is featured in the banner. We want the Mysterious Figure in this case. However, if we look at the notice, it says it right there, you are guaranteed to get one of the following medals every 10 draws. So what that says to me is that there's 13 medals in this pull right now for the stopper pull. What that says to me is that there's still a chance that after 30,000 jewels, you are not getting a copy of the Supernova Plus Plus Mysterious Figure, and that's really bad. 30,000 jewels is a lot of jewels to spend in one sitting, especially when you're not even guaranteeing yourself the medal that you're going for. So we're already off to a bad start with this whole stopper medal guaranteed in 10 tries thing. Alright, but with that being said, that wraps up the quick banner analysis. Let's go ahead and talk about the medal itself. So this is Supernova ++ Mysterious Figure. It is going to be a reverse Magic tier 10, which is always good to see more reverse medals. It has a base strength of 47,149, which is among the highest that we've seen so far, being 52,000 after you add the chips. And then it has a base defense of 16,700, which isn't too impressive. It has a multiplier of 21.1, which is actually one of the highest multipliers we've seen in the most recent tier 10s, if not the highest, which is something we like to see. It's got a gauge cost of 3 to activate its special attack, and its special attack does 4 hits. Looking at the special attack package, it's going to give you buffs and debuffs for 1 turn, and it hits all targets. In terms of the buffs and debuffs, it is perfect buffing and debuffing for any reverse medal, because it covers the reverse buff and debuff. It covers the strength, the general strength and defense, general strength and general defense buffs, and then it also covers power, speed, and magic, which is really good because that means you could set this medal early in your Keyblade, and then you'll get buffs for power medals or speed medals. It doesn't really matter, as long as the medal's reverse, it gets a full buff package from the Mysterious Figure, and that's a versatility that we like to see. In terms of the buffs, it also gives all medals plus 12,000 strength. And we really like that effect because it doesn't matter if the medals that come after after the Mysterious Figure activation is upright. It doesn't matter if they're going to be power or speed. It's still going to get a buff from the Mysterious Figure special attack activation, which is something we really do like to see. It also gives all medals after its special attack bonus plus 220%, which is not really relevant because we rely on the Supernova attacks to give us plus 320%, or if you have Strelitzia, plus 330%. Now, looking at the effects of the special attack, really nothing going on here. Count +1, and it ignores attribute. The count +1 is just okay. It helps you manage counts, making sure it doesn't fall too low. It's really helpful with red counters, but all in all, count +1 is not something special or limited to this medal. We see medals that give count +2, so this really isn't too special. It's just nice and kind of a little techie bonus. It does ignore attribute, which actually is a good thing because that means it's always hitting for super effective damage. So it doesn't matter if this medal is going up against a power enemy or a speed enemy, it will always be doing the super effective damage, and that is just more damage that you are outputting with this medal. Other than that, we don't really see anything else with the effects of the special attack. No gauge healing, it doesn't do any defense boost piercing, so really nothing too crazy going on with the special attack. Looking at the Supernova attack, it hits all targets and gives you buffs and debuffs for 2 turns as opposed to 1 turn. Now, in terms of the buffs and debuffs, again, just like the special attack, it gives you a full reverse medal buff package. For general reverse power, speed, and magic buffs and debuffs, it's got you covered. And that is, again, versatility we like to see. We like to see it especially on the Supernova attacks because that is buffing on command. So even if you're not on the Mysterious Figure in your Keyblade, you can just activate the Supernova attack and boom, your buffs are good. This is really important for things like the Barrier Master or the False Master or any enemy that essentially removes your buffs and debuffs, because you just proc the Supernova attack and you are ready to get back in there. In terms of the buffs, it also gives all medals plus 8,000. Now this is just okay. Remember that with these 2-turn Supernova attacks, we see a lower medal strength buff in comparison to a 1-turn Supernova attack. So in this case, it's all medals plus 8,000, which again is good because it gives all medals that buff. Upright, power, speed, doesn't matter. It gives it the buff. But when we look at these 1-turn Supernovas, they give plus 14,000. And generally when it comes to Supernova attacks, we like to see a big giant boost in power, or we like to see it last multiple turns, so more than just 2. We'll get back to this in an analysis later, but really 2 turns is probably the worst spot for Supernova attacks. We either like to see 1 turn or we like to see 3 turns. 2 turns just isn't as good. So again, 2-turn buff, perfect buffs and debuffs for reverse medals, gives that all medals, which is really good, and then special attack bonus plus 320%, which again is like the standard. Unless you have Strelitzia, then you got 330% at your disposal. In terms of the effects of the Supernova attack, it gives count ±0, and that's really it. Doesn't do anything else. No defense boost piercing, no gauge healing, no HP healing, really nothing crazy going on with this medal in terms of effects. Now, one of the most important things to analyze for this banner is actually going to be the draw odds. So one thing I noticed about the draw odds for the most recent banners is that they include all of the medals up until Vanitas Remnant. Now, if we look at the draw odds here, and we will go to the general, which is going to represent those Kingdom Hearts 3 medals. As you can see, mysterious figures there, but so are all the other tier 10s all the way up until Vanitas Remnant. So you can see here that Final Fantasy VII Remake Sephiroth is in there. You can see Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora and Riku. You can see Supernova++ Xemnas, Strikeform Sora. So all of them are in here, which is really good because, again, they're enhancing our pool that we can get. We are getting better medals on average in comparison to older banners. So that is something that we do like to see. So that's really important to note that these banners, even if we go to the Defense Breaker deal and check out its general pool, we can see that you can still get the Illustrated Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi or the Illustrated Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku, Aqua, Terra, and that is, again, something we like to see. Again, a small boost in quality of life, but nonetheless, we will take it. But for the draw odds, we already talked about it. You could pull forever and not get this medal. Again, that wording, a stopper medal, guaranteed in 10 tries, means that you can do the 10 pulls, you can spend the 30,000 jewels. There's still a chance you're not going to get the Supernova++ mysterious figure. So what we like to do, we always like to do the math and try and figure out what are our odds of getting what we want. So again, here's the equation that I use to calculate how or what our percent is of getting a medal. So if anyone wants to fact check this, if anyone's a statistician, because I'm not, fact check me on this and let me know in the comments if there's something I can improve upon this. But when we look at the actual odds, I went ahead and calculated it for everyone. So per non-stopper pull, so this is going to be pulls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Your odds of getting the Supernova++ mysterious figure are 4.69, about a 1 in 20 chance of you actually getting it. So that's really not too good. It's decent. 1 out of 20. If you're feeling really lucky, sure, you could potentially get it on the first pull, and then 19 other people won't. But 5% really not too good, especially for 3,000 jewels. Now, per stopper pull, so this is going to be the odds on the 10th pull. You have a 23.57 chance. So as you can see, that stopper pull has significantly higher odds than the non-stopper pull. And the reason for that is that actually, if you look at the draw odds and then you hit stopper, there's a solid 20% chance that you're going to get the mysterious figure on that 10th pull. But again, not guaranteed. So if we go back to the odds, so per stopper pull, it's 23.57. I know that's higher than the 20% we just talked about, but remember, you got to account for the other 9 medals that are not the stopper medal. So that's why it's slightly higher than 20%. All right, so let's say you did pulls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've spent 27,000 jewels. Even after all that, you're only at a 35% chance. You're pretty much 1 out of 3 are going to have it by that point. So at that point, if you spent 27,000 jewels, 1 out of 3 chance, still not looking too good. Now let's factor in for that stopper pull. You do 1 more pull, you spend 30,000 jewels, now you're at a 50.28% chance. So after 30,000 jewels, you are at a coin flip of a chance of having the mysterious figure, and that's really bad. If I'm spending 30,000 jewels, I better know what I'm getting out of it, because we don't want to end up with a coin flip chance. Literally flipping a coin, and it's either you get the mysterious figure or you don't, but it costs you 30,000 jewels. That's not really good. I don't think that's good odds. So let's say you pulled all the way until the second stopper pull. Let's say you were just like, you know what, I really want this medal, I want it more than anything, and then you spend 60,000 jewels. You only have a 75.28% chance. So you've gone from a coin flip to a 3/4 chance. There is a quarter chance that you are not going to get the mysterious figure after spending 60,000 jewels, and that's awful. Let's take this even a step further. Let's say you went ahead and did 4 stopper pulls. You spent 120,000 jewels, which is the same amount of jewels that you had to spend to get Renova Kairi, who is one of the best medals in the game right now. By that point, you're only at a 93.89% chance of getting the mysterious figure. There is a 1 in 20 chance that you won't have the mysterious figure after spending the same amount of jewels that it took to guarantee Supernova++ Melody of Memory Kairi. And that's really bad. Those are really awful draw odds. So we don't like to take that gamble. Again, if I'm spending 30,000 jewels, I want to know what I'm getting. If I'm spending 120,000 jewels, I better know what I'm getting. So I really don't like these draw odds when you mix it with the banner. So naturally, even though I've explained that the draw odds are bad, that the medal is just okay, let's go ahead and talk about our thoughts and recommendations as we always do. So what we're going to do for this is we are actually going to compare the Supernova Plus Mysterious figure a lot to Supernova Plus Kingdom Hearts 2 Sephiroth, who is the best reverse medal in the game right now. So comparing these two medals, what do we see? We see that Sephiroth has a weaker strength and a weaker multiplier than the Mysterious figure. So the Mysterious figure, slightly stronger than Sephiroth. What we don't see with the Mysterious figure that we do see with Sephiroth is that Sephiroth has that defense boost piercing with the special attack and then guaranteed defense boost piercing with the Supernova attack as opposed to the Mysterious figure. So what that means is that the Mysterious figure only really fits in two categories of the game. PvE, because it really has a high damage output and it ignores attribute, and then raids because it ignores attribute. It doesn't cover you for PvP, which is really bad because whenever you pull, you want a medal that's going to fit in a lot of different scenarios, especially if you don't have a lot of money, you're free to play, you want to make sure you're buying investments for future setups. Now, since this medal is really only good for PvE and raids, what that means is that a stronger medal just needs to come by. If they release another reverse magic medal that has a base strength of 50,000, then this Mysterious figure is immediately outclassed, and then you can't really use it for anything else except as like support. So the fact that we don't see that defense boost piercing with either the Supernova attack or the special attack on the Mysterious figure means that it's less useful than something like Sephiroth, which has that. So Sephiroth fits PvE, PvP, and raids. That's really good utility. The Mysterious figure only really fitting for PvE and raids, not as good utility. However, there are some perks to the Mysterious figure. One of them being simply its reverse. And we need good reverse support. The Mysterious figure is both a support medal and a damaging medal, and that's something we like to see because that gives it a little bit more longevity. The fact that it can be put early on in a Keyblade and then support the rest of it as long as it's all reverse is really good. That all medals plus 12,000 means that even if the medals after it are upright, they still get strength. So it's got a little bit of utility when it comes to the buffs and debuffs, but no real PvP utility like we just talked about. It's also an amazing reverse buffer. So again, it clocks out. It gives you all the buffs and debuffs that you need for your reverse medals on both the special attack and again the Supernova attack. And the Supernova attack again is very important because that's buffs on command. So let's just say you're in the middle of your Keyblade rotation, you've already activated your Mysterious figure, you get debuffed by a Barrier Master or a False Master or something like Gula from the Keyblade War. In that case, boom, you activate the Supernova attack and you are back and you are rolling. And that's really good to have that buffing on command. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Supernova attack only being a 2-turn buff, which is like the worst potential spot. So if we look at Sephiroth, Sephiroth gives it for 1 turn, but it gives you 6,000 more strength. And this is really important for Renovas, because remember, for Renovas, you really want to pack on a lot of strength into 1 turn and then one-shot the enemy and then you're done. In the case of the Mysterious figure, even with multiple Renovas, you're not going to be hitting the same numbers as you would with Sephiroth. For 2-turn buffs and debuffs, we like to see that more on the special attack, because on the special attack, you can have extra attack, it stacks from 1 turn to the next, as opposed to the Supernova attack, really you just get 1 proc of it. And even if you have Renovas, sure, that stacks to the next turn, but unlike the special attack, you don't get that activation again. So 2-turn buffs is really more important for the special attack than the Supernova attack. So like I was saying earlier, you either want 1-turn buffs, which is just 1 big packet like what we see with Sephiroth, or you want it to last 3 turns as opposed to 2. The reason you want it to last 3 turns like on Illustrated Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion as opposed to the 2 turns like we see on the Mysterious figure is because technically speaking, every single fight you get into, you get 3 chances. You get 3 full Keyblade rotations. So you get the first one, and then after you get knocked out, you get HP recovery 1. So there's your second one. So that's 2 turns right there. And then after you get knocked out on the second one, you get second chance, which gives you a 3rd turn. Mysterious figure only covers you for those first 2 rather than the 3. So that's why we like to see either 1 or 3. You either want big packets with 1 turn, or you want to get all of the buffs across multiple turns, all the way up until where you get knocked out and then it's game over. So really why we like to see those 3-turn ones is because when it comes to the supernova attack buff, the most important thing across multiple turns is going to be that special attack bonus plus 320%, because no matter what happens to you, that never gets taken away. So even if you get debuffed between turns or something like that, you keep that special attack bonus. Nothing can take that away, and that can be important for things like gauntlet missions where you have to fight multiple enemies, lots of strings of enemies, and you want to be conservative about where you activate your supernova attacks. This mysterious figure, it's only going to cover you for 2 turns, and then if you need that 3rd turn to knock out that enemy, you have to activate another supernova attack. So 2 turns is like the worst spot for a supernova attack to be in. Again, talking about the metal and how it's just kind of meh, there's really no special effects that we care about. There's no healing involved, there's no PvP utility, it just gives you the count and then the ignoring attribute. And again, that ignoring attribute is really only good for PvE and raids. So this metal, as a whole picture, is either going to be used as a high damage metal, which is very bad because it can be easily replaced by just a metal with higher strength or a metal with a better multiplier, or for PvE support, meaning that you're putting it early on in the Keyblade to beef up everything later down the line. So that's really how I see this metal being used, and the fact that you could pull it forever and not get it, and then just end up with something that's okay even if you do get it, I just don't think that's a good metal. I don't think it's a good banner. I don't think it's good draw odds. So hopefully that's convinced you to not pull from the Supernova Plus Mysterious Figure banner. There are better banners to pull for. For example, that Black Friday sale was super good. For the Sephiroth, you got a stopper medal every 3 turns, every 3 pulls, as opposed to every 10. And then it was only 1,500 jewels as opposed to the 3,000 for the mysterious figure. So again, I hope this was enough information to convince you to not pull for this medal. If you get it, if you're just feeling really saucy one day and you're like, you know what, maybe I'm the 1 in 20, boom, you get it on the first pull, that's good, because this medal is still technically really good. But I don't advise pulling from this banner because, again, not a great medal, not really great draw odds. So hopefully that's enough information to convince you not to pull. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer when I have the time. If you'd like to join my Discord, get some additional information off hours when I am not streaming or recording, go ahead, type that link under the screen into your URL, and you should be good to go. But that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, until next time, take it easy.